If your workout split looks like this, or this, or this, or you just have no idea how to make workout programs, I got you, my dude. Before we go into more specific shit, I need you to break the current notion in your mind about workout splits. The program itself isn't anything special. There's no best way to organize how you hit muscles and how much. What you need to do with a program is hit specific time-tested guidelines, and then the details can be changed depending on your personal experience. Like, there's no rule saying that chest has to be hit on Monday, that you have to hit only leg muscles on a leg day, or that you can't hit squats, bench, and curls together. Workout routines are just a method to hit these guidelines. Hit each muscle 2 to 3 times a week, recover for each lift, and recover between sessions. And that's it. They're not gospel. So here I will teach you how to make that program to hit all of these guidelines and more. So let's get into it. This first question is going to divide everyone into 2 camps. Do I want to improve other training modalities aside from just strength and muscle growth? If you answered no, you can skip ahead by like 30 seconds. If you answered yes, then that complicates things. Firstly, you must think about what I like to call your hierarchy of training needs. For example, you could have strength training at the top, followed by cardio, and then badminton or something. The order could be flipped in any way. It's just important to define what's most important and least important to you, so you can decide the right lifting routine for you. If you are currently doing another form of exercise, I will cover how to balance lifting with that in future chapters. Just know that you may have to cut back on either lifting or that other activity. The next question is, how much experience do I have? No, experience isn't just time spent training. It's the combination of that and the results you are able to achieve. Most of you are going to be beginners, so it's important to know this. Many advanced training techniques you will see may not work for you or be necessary. This is why I want to lay down the absolute basics. Shit that will work for all of you. Next up, how many days do I have to work out? 4 is ideal, at least 2 is fine, and more than 4 can definitely help in the future as you become more advanced or have limited time per workout. How much time do I have per workout? 1.5 hours is ideal, but that ranges depending on how many days you plan to work out. For 4 days, I'd say 1.5 hours is ideal. For 5 to 6 days, 45 minutes to an hour and 15 is ideal. And for 3 times a week or less, 1.5 to 2 hours would be ideal. You can put in less time, of course, and still make great gains though. Final question, what are my favorite lifts? This is more of a fun question. Like, if you really like barbell bench or pull-ups, we're 100% going to be including them in our program. Many people will talk about optimal exercises, but optimal goes beyond just biomechanics. What you enjoy plays a massive part. Use lifts you like as long as they serve you well enough. Don't make your training plan boring to you. We will get into that more later. Next up, let's choose an actual split. So you already know we want to hit muscles 2 to 3 times a week. This is why bro splits usually don't work as well as they could. You can only get so much growth from one session. If you split it up, you can spike growth twice or more per week and still recover between sessions. Because let's be real, you more than likely don't need an entire week to recover your chest. But I get so sore after just one session. I can't train the same muscle twice a week. Soreness isn't a constant. Rather than delaying your next session, grab yourself by the balls and do it anyways. You'll notice something. You get less sore over time, meaning your body can adapt and recover faster if you adhere to a higher frequency. Generally, 1 to 3 lifts for a muscle group in a given day will be good. If you only have 3 or fewer days to work out, you should 100% do a full body split. If you have 5 days to work out, we have to decide between 4 to 5 times a week. No, more sessions are not automatically better. It's going to depend on how much time per workout you have. If you have less than an hour and 15 minutes to work out per day, I would recommend choosing 5 over 4 days if possible. Another factor to consider, let's say you have 5 days to work out, but that 5th day is inconsistent. I would recommend a 4 times a week split in that case, so the inconsistency has no effect. Alright, so if you have 4 days per week to work out, you have some options. For general development, I recommend an upper-lower split. For arms, I recommend a torso and limb split. For legs or powerlifting, I recommend a push-pull split. And if you have 5 days per week, you have even more options. For general development, I recommend a push-pull legs upper-lower split. You can also do any of the splits from the 4 times a week session, plus an arm day for extra arm emphasis. The additional day doesn't even have to be an arm day. It can be a short session for whatever muscle group you need, as long as there's still at least a day of rest in between sessions for that muscle. An arm or single muscle group day will usually be like 2 to 4 exercises at most. The muscle groups targeted for each day goes as follows. For the upper-lower split, chest, back, shoulders, and arms, to legs, back, and core. For the torso and limb split, split, we have chest, back, and shoulders to arms, legs, and core. For the push-pull leg split, we have chest, shoulders, and triceps to back and biceps to legs and core. For the push-pull split, think of it as the push-pull leg split, but on the push day, you also hit quads, and on the pull day, you also hit hamstrings, glutes, and core. Some glutes might be involved on your push day as well. Why back on lower day? It helps add some more volume to the back since it has many muscles that need to be worked. I personally do a push-pull plus arm split myself. If you want more information on how to train your back, I've got you covered with this video. So now just select your split and let's move on. The structure of each day is going to entirely depend on the split that you chose, but regardless of your split, the principles I use will still apply. I'm going to be using the upper-lower split as an example. Vocabulary quickfire. A compound lift is a lift involving movement at more than one joint. An isolation lift is a lift involving movement mainly at only one joint. Firstly, for a 4 times a week split, I will use around 6 to 8 lifts. The type of lifts matters. We have our main lifts, which are simply the heaviest movements we do in the day, usually free weights like barbells. Then our accessory lifts are split into compounds and isolations. Remember, just because a lift is an accessory lift does not mean it's of lower importance. Every lift has to be taken seriously and hit hard. For each day, we will have 1 main lift with the rest being accessory lifts, 5 to 4 accessory compounds, and 2 to 4 accessory isolation lifts. These numbers don't have to be that strict, but it's what I recommend. You can have more or fewer total lifts depending on whether you go 2, 3, or 5 times a week, with more being better for fewer days. We are going to be using around 2 to 3 sets each, trying to total around 6 to 12 sets per muscle group per week across the 2 sessions. Another note is that it's usually better for beginners to use more compound focused movements since they can get more bang for their buck that way. They don't have to worry much about stimulus to fatigue ratio yet. Starting at 6 sets per week is completely fine. Don't let people convince you otherwise. One of the most important things for beginners to learn is how to make lower volumes work. Quality over quantity when it comes to the number of sets. This means good form and high intensity. Once you can make 6 sets work, you can 100% go higher and succeed if you want to. One of the most common beginner scenarios is them slapping on more and more volume, thinking it will net them more gains when they can barely train to failure on each set. Now that we have our lift numbers, let's fill them in. Not with the lifts yet though. We don't want to tie ourselves to specific lifts, but rather movement patterns. I have a whole video on this already, but essentially, each lift can be categorized under a specific movement pattern. A bench press would be classified as a horizontal press, for example. I'm not going to rehash them all here, but it's pretty intuitive stuff. So our upper day consists of chest, back, shoulders, and arms. Let's reserve 2 lifts for each muscle. For the chest, we will have 2 horizontal presses. For the back, we will have a vertical pull and a back fly. For shoulders, we will have a vertical press and a shoulder raise. And for arms, we will have an arm curl and an arm extension. This totals us 4 compounds and 4 isolations. Our next main concern is exercise order. It's usually best to go from heaviest to lightest lifts in the workout. So on an upper body day, it will be your heavy presses and or heavy pulls. Moving towards more isolation exercises like chest flies. You have the most energy at the start, so it will help you lock in for the heaviest exercises, especially on those lower days. The lightest lifts first can also hinder certain future exercises you do, like doing curls before pull-ups could affect how much back you can train, as your biceps might give out first. Reordering based on this gives us the following routine. Weights, but there's more. It's also usually better to alternate the muscle groups you hit during the workout between more unrelated muscle groups. So for example, alternating between chest/shoulder exercises and back exercises. This is so you're given more time to recover the target muscles in between each exercise, rather than doing all chest and shoulder exercises one after the other. So taking this into account, our split now looks like this. Notice how I put the back fly before the shoulder press though? That's technically breaking what I outlined before, but in this case, it's fine because doing the back fly before the rest of the lifts will basically have no effect, and we've already done a majority of the heavy exercises. Another tip with exercise order is to put lifts for the muscle groups you want to emphasize first. I usually have squats and benches the first exercises, but there were periods where I would just have lateral raises first or overhead presses first. For most people on an upper-lower split, I will just start them with a bench press like exact movement as the first 2 lifts, but it's totally fine to start with back exercises instead rather than presses. One last example, if you wanted to emphasize legs on push-pull or full body, you would start all days with a lower body lift. Just keep in mind the guidelines I mentioned previously. Let's do the same thing to our lower day. So our lower day consists of legs, back, and core. For the legs, we will have 2 squats, a leg curl, and a calf raise. For the back, we will have a horizontal pull and a shrug. For core, we will have a crunch/sit-up. Now we can use these 2 workout templates to create 2 upper and 2 lower body days for us to use. Why 2 of each? This allows us to minimize overuse issues, keep our bodies fresh, maximize the flexibility of our program to hit muscles at different angles and weak points, and put emphasis on certain muscles during the certain days. If you really want to use the same 2 upper and lower days, you 100% can. I just wouldn't exactly recommend it. Next up, exercise selection.
See that we weren't meant to be.
This really isn't going to be that complicated. I personally use a ton of barbells and dumbbells with very few machines, but you can incorporate a lot more machines and cables than I do. Just be aware, as a beginner lifter, I think it's very important to learn how to properly stabilize your body under free weight movements, how to properly brace and manage what's known as your stack without just folding over. Balance and coordination are part of fitness too. It's not just about muscle growth. Here I'll take that example upper lower program we made and fill it in with exercises. Quick tip, when choosing lifts, we usually want to maximize equipment variety. Yes, this will help us ensure full development and keep our joints more fresh/movement options less limited. But we also want to keep in mind maximizing our equipment use at a time. Picture this, you start your day at the squat rack, finish your 3 sets, then move all the way to the opposite side of the gym to use a machine, and then have to wait for that, finish your 3 sets, then walk all the way back to the squat rack to do another exercise, and have to wait before using that squat rack. It would have been much more efficient for you to just do 2 or all of your squat rack movements there when you had it. The problem that could arise from that is that only a few exercises require the same equipment and setup. This clashes with one of my earlier principles of alternating between muscles targeted throughout the day. You very likely will have to change equipment when alternating muscles. If you don't need to, that's great, but if you find the efficiency of staying on the same equipment for multiple exercises works better for you than alternating muscles, then be my guest. It's important to take all of these things into consideration and decide for yourself. Last step, let's talk about how you're actually gonna get big from your routine. Size and strength are very directly correlated on an individual level, meaning the jacked you will be guaranteed to be much stronger at basically all of his movements than the you currently is. Getting stronger has always been a time-tested way to get bigger, and vice versa. Here I'll cover 2 basic progressions for getting stronger, which will work especially if you're a beginner. 1. Double progression, or rep ranges. This is usually shown as start reps to end reps, so like 8 to 10, 8 to 12, 5 to 10, etc. The idea is that you pick a weight for an exercise that you can only do for the start reps of that range. Then every following training session for that exercise, you try to do 1 more rep until you can do the end reps of that range. For example, with an 8 to 12 rep range, let's say you can only do 8 reps for 100 pounds on barbell rows. In the following training sessions, you should do barbell rows with the intent to get more and more reps until you eventually reach 12 reps. Once you can perform 12 reps on the first 2 sets, the next step is to just add 5 to 10 pounds and repeat this cycle over and over. That's simple. 2. Linear progression. This is a progression meant more for your main lifts. You'll see why. This is an even simpler way to get stronger than the last. Choose a way you can do for the target reps, let's say 5 reps. Every following session for that lift, you simply add 5 pounds and do it for the target reps and repeat. Due to how fast-paced this progression is, that's why I only recommend it for the main lifts. Most of the other lifts just don't progress fast enough to warrant using this progression, but it's the best you can do if you are able to get away with it, and you definitely can as a beginner. And that's about it for progression. Without the intent to just get a little bit stronger each session, your back, or any other muscle for that matter, will not grow optimally. None of my previous tips will matter in the grand scheme of things if you are not trying to progress. Don't let anybody convince you otherwise. Progression methods don't mean anything though if you don't keep track of your workout, so make sure you have your exercises, sets, and reps written down somewhere. You're not Megamind foreheaded. You're not going to remember the weight you used. And then what are you supposed to add 5 pounds to then? Hope you found this helpful. Remember man, you can have the perfect program, but nothing can save your gains if you are inconsistent, have a shitty diet, and shitty sleep habits. If this is you, I got you man. You and I can work together one-on-one with the link in the description. I'll make sure you get everything covered and improve this over time. Now that I think about it though, something is missing from this routine. Oh shit, it's a warm-up. If you're in need of a full warm-up guide, you're in luck because I got you right here.